Good morning. Happy Friday. Welcome to the Pitch Night Chronicles. I'm Uncle Tats. Donald will be with me shortly. Rob is taking the day off, but I did not want to keep you guys waiting. So we had a little technical issues on Wednesday. So I figured while we're waiting for Donald to show up, I'll at least come out. We'll hang out. We'll talk a little bit. Anybody have anything planned for the weekend? I myself do not. The weather. No, I'm not solo. I'm solo at the moment, NFE. But good morning to everybody else in the chat, along with NFE. We got Donnie Clark in the building, Joan, Jonathan, Joe. Yeah, well, we got Frederick hanging out with us this morning. Deb Finch, Medina, my guy. No, look, we're going to be breaking down the games. We're going to be breaking down. What's going on, Damien? We're going to be breaking down the Miami series before we get into a little preview of the Cleveland. And, the weather, not so good in New York. It's not so good in Cleveland as well, I'm hearing. What's going on, Demon D? But Stephen B's on call this weekend. All right. You know what? I hate when you're not sure what your weekend plans are, when everything is up in the air. It can get annoying. So, when you get into those situations, it's like, I want to make plans, but I don't know if I'm going to have to work. That is a bitch. I'll be honest with you. That is a bitch. Well, we're going to be able to start talking some baseball now. My lovely co-host is going to be joining in, and you hope everybody's ready to have a good time. Donald, how is everything going? Just kind of going over some weekend plans and everything while we were waiting.
Weekend plans, huh? What weekend plans have you got, Tats?
Nothing. I actually have nothing going on this weekend. It is awesome.
Great.
To spend some time at home. Kelly and I are it's going to be a little crappy with the weather. So we'll catch up on some shows. I got to see The Masked Singer. I got to catch up on that. That's the one reality show. I will be honest. The Masked Singer. Watch it if you get a chance. It's a very good show, and that is the only show I will ever plug on this show. But
I don't mind the odd reality, but it's usually really trashy dating shows I watch, like Love Is Blind.
Nah, I can't watch that crap, man.
That's fire. I want the trash.
What is? I am so distanced from like pop culture. Half the time they're like making these guesses of the names of who they think it could be, and I'm going, never heard of them. Never heard.
I know. I'm not up in the pop scene at all.
Yeah,
I have no idea. I just know Taylor Swift's popular. That's about all I can tell you about the pop
scene. Well, you know what? The one thing that is popular these days is the Yankees record. 10-3, baby. How could we go wrong with a 10-3 start without our captain clicking on all cylinders, without our ace on the bump every 5 days? This has been one of these Yankee teams. It's just clicking. They're finding ways. It's different contributions. Boom. And he got a. You know what? I think he got a lot of unnecessary crap for the shuffle of the lineup. Right.
Oh, I completely agree with you. What the hell? What's going on with that?
Well, because the day before, he makes a statement that, Volpe with the leadoff spot, soon, we're going to see how things play out, and then bam, the next day. Okay. And it's really one of these, and I actually believe, Boom, when he said it was more of the adjustment for Torres than for Volpe. Yes. I actually do believe him on that. Right?
Me too. I also don't see what the problem is.
Yeah.
I mean, Torres is batting 190. He went like 0 for 12 in the series, and his OPS is 500. You can't have that as a leadoff spot. So when, as much as I respect Talking Yanks as a podcast, it's a very good podcast for the most part. I disagree with this whole thing where if it ain't broke, fix it thing that they're making fun of. I disagree with that. It was broke at the top of the order.
Yeah, if you have a
working, they needed someone that can get on base, and with Volpe's speed, It was a natural thing to do. Volpe's gonna be our leadoff hitter. As I kept saying in all the previous podcasts, and people were shutting me down, going, "They can't do that." Why not? Volpe's batting 400, and he's been working great counts, and he was seeing the ball fantastic. He was springing all over the yard. It was a natural thing with his speed. Put him at the top of the order. It made all the sense in the world. I didn't see why that was such a negative. And it also suits Torres. Get the pressure off Torres. And as Boone said, it's more for Torres than anything. Yeah. Torres will be more comfortable lower in the order. You'll get his swing back together. Then you can figure it out from there. I think it was a natural thing to do. I don't even see why it was even necessarily an issue. For me, Boone was right. Look at the numbers. Volpe was batting like 400. And Torres is batting 190. It's a natural. And also, he did say in 5 years' time, Volpe is going to be the everyday leadoff hitter anyway.
Yeah.
So he might as well. I didn't see what was a problem there. I think.
No,
I think Boone got unnecessary nonsense for that. He made the right call as far as I'm concerned. And the biggest thing that I was concerned about is if Volpe went 0 for 4, then people on X would be like, "Oh, see, I told you, he can't bat the top." You know what I mean? It's like you can't win either way.
It's one freaking game. It's one, even if he did go 0 for 4, it's one game. And it's like, I just said it on NFE show yesterday. On the Strike Zone, if you're not subscribed to the Strike Zone, what are you doing with your life? They already had the season in the series at hand, right? We already won the first 2 games. So it's not like you're playing a rubber game where you want to keep the momentum going of winning every series that the Yankees have done. And I think that sometimes with all these little negative routes that we try to go, the Yankees have not lost the series. Okay. I thought that was the perfect game against Miami. I don't want to call them a bottom feeder because they are professional baseball players.
Yeah.
But they're a team that's not clicking. I think that's a very polite way to put it. Because they are they have talent. It's just not matching.
Well, their whole team is built around pitching, and then a lot of their pitching's hurt.
And a lot of the pitching fell apart. Yeah.
So I mean, that's a lot of it. Their offense isn't what's going to carry the day for them. So that's what you're seeing now. It's that these just apart from 1 or 2 pitchers, and the ones that they do have kind of underperformed. For the most part, their team is built around pitching, so their pitching's hurt. So we took advantage of that.
But that was the perfect game to go, you know what? I know what I said last night, but if I don't do it now, screw it. I'm just going to rip the Band-Aid off and move him up. I move Torres down. Who am I going to put in the leadoff spot? You know what? Volpe's hitting, 400. He's getting on base at an incredible clip.
Facts.
I'm going to put him in the leadoff spot in front of Soto and Judge and let it run from there. It would have worked. It was working until the 9th inning. Judges, and we're going to really take a deep dive into Judge. But I want to really get a lot of the other conversations out of the way because there were a couple of questions. There were 2 comments I want to highlight, and I love the comment section. Keep them comment. With regards with the light up. Because Joan here, because I'm tired of hearing where's Waldo. Not like like he's an all-star and all the birdie hate. Trevino, that's another story, and that is true.
Good point.
Trevino's another story. But it's
one point I have on that. Yeah, that was where's Waldo? Where's Waldo? For birdie bat 325 against lefties last year. If you're going to make a deal for birdie, against lefties is where you want to have him play. It was natural. He batted 325 against lefties last year. I mean, again, Boone's getting unnecessary criticism. What is he supposed to do? He's reading the numbers that were, right there. And, if another thing, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. What if you did have Waldo play instead of Birdie and Waldo goes 0 for 4, then everybody like, why didn't you play Birdie? He bats 325 against lefties. So, you can't win either way. So he went with the better option. He went with a better option. Birdie bats lefties really, really well. It's not a big deal. We'll see plenty of Waldo. Now, Trevino is another story, and I'll get into that in a bit.
And the follow-up comment, like right afterwards, from Damian. My first issue with the lineup is not having Cabrera in the lineup 3 straight games. Now, what I will say about this, despite the numbers from Birdie, like you just mentioned, we always talk about the hot hand. Cabrera was, even though it seemed like he was just starting to cool off a little bit, I think benching him for 3 straight games, despite the pitching matchups, you couldn't find a pinch hitting situation, to
That
kind
I
of
agree
just
with.
keep him more loose,
That I agree
So,
with.
yeah, I understand not started, but get him involved. Keep the bat hot because you're gonna need him. You're gonna need him to be on his game. We got a few more people that joined the chat. You got OG the Real. What's going on? Yeah, bang the reels in the chat. Absolutely appreciate everybody. Anthony Garcia's joined us this morning. What's going on, Anthony? And yeah, I'm not overly concerned with the lineup, the mix up. This is usually, they've had between 40 to 50 at bats. You don't want to bench players, but you want to shuffle it around a little bit and just see where everybody is at, what roles they're comfortable in. And if you had Judge clicking on all cylinders, when you have a guy like Volpe that's been able to get on base, a guy that gets on base like Soto does, that's how every manager would dream of being able to have that on top of their order. And then having either Rizzo or Stanton cleaning up. I mean, that's a manager's dream to have that scenario on the offensive side, and a pitcher's nightmare if you're the opposing manager. So I'm not so. I think that this could be the perfect formula. We're just lucky enough that Volpe, and I said, look, I wanted him in the leadoff spot. I just wanted to see how he was going to transition from last year to this year. And the transition has been very positive. So why not make the decision sooner rather than later? Maybe having guys like, maybe that little shuffle in the lineup, to put Volpe in front of, Soto and Judge is something that really gets the offense clicking even more than they already are. Because now you're going to take the leadoff pressure off of Torres, who he was not a leadoff hitter. You weren't playing to his strength. Yeah. So all he did was reverse the roles. That's it. And if he would have waited and waited and waited, that would have dominated the conversation, especially if Volpe continues to play the way he is. When are you going to make the move? When are you going to make the move? What is Boone doing? Put the book down. You could already hear the chirping on the bird app. So I have no issue whatsoever. The issue I have, we're going to take the deep dive now. And then once we get, we're going to talk about Judge, and then we're going to get we also have some awards coming up. So stay tuned for that. If you're enjoying this conversation, smack that like button, share this out. Let's grow the community more and more every day. Hit that sub button. You see that little scan code in the top corner if you want to help support the channel. We do have the Buy Me a Coffee app ready to go to get a little pick me up every morning.
We're trying to build this thing. We want to get over 700 very, very soon. Let's sub this up. You're not going to get content like this where you get weekly awards after every series and deep dives into every single thing you can possibly want. Hit that sub button for us, guys.
So let's get to Judge. All right, talking about ripping the Band-Aid off. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. What's up with Judge? I don't get it. I mean, we could have. I don't want to say should have, because it's professional sports. Sometimes the ball bounces the wrong way. The call doesn't go your way one way or the other. But that was tailor-made for Judge to just kind of rise to the occasion and really just say, all right, you know what? I'm not ending the series on my bat. And unfortunately, that's what happened. And last year and the year before, we don't see that from Judge. We usually see him come through in the moment. So what do you? I heard one narrative yesterday, and it was that maybe he's he's just not into it this year because of all the attention for Soto. And I turned the radio off at that point. I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going to.
Who said that?
I'm not even at the.
Who said that?
No, it wasn't. No, we are going to get into one of the hosts. That's been trending. It was not a host; it was a caller. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not even entertaining this today. I just don't have the energy. And I turned the radio off. But what do you see something that like what are we seeing from Judge? Is it really just he's just having a slow start, and because everybody else has been kind of rising to the occasion, that it's just being highlighted? Or is it really just it's just an early slump?
Okay, so first of all, this is the worst batting average he's had at this point of the season in his career. He's never struggled like this at this point at any point in his career. So yeah, that's real. However, I think a lot of it has to come down to the fact that he missed a good portion of spring, at least a couple of weeks in spring, and I think he's just working himself back from that. His timing's a little off. It's as simple as that. His timing's just a little off. I don't think it's a big deal. I mean, we're talking April yet. Again, we need to see a bigger sample size. Now, am I happy that he's struggling like this? No. But am I happy that he failed us with a bases loaded? No, I'm not too happy about that. But at the end of the day, it's slumps. It's part of baseball. That's the thing. That's the thing. It's not like the NBA where your superstar every single night is guaranteed to drop 35 every night, regardless, right? Guaranteed. Baseball's different. If you're batting 280, you're going to the All-Star game every single year, right? 28%. That means 28% of the time you have success rate. You're going straight to the All-Star game perennially, right? If you're successful 35% of the time, you go to the goddamn Hall of Fame. That's the difference with doing baseball. You're not guaranteed, no matter how good you are. There's going to be slumps, and it's a game of failure, right? And unfortunately, 7 out of 10 times, as good as you are, you're going to fail. It just happens. It just happens. But you want that scenario for Aaron Judge. Give me that scenario for Aaron Judge, because for me, he's going to come through more times than he's not. It just didn't happen this time. Can't read too much into it. Now, I think it's a timing issue. I don't think there's anything mechanically wrong with his swing. For instance, that pitch that he got with the bases loaded at the bottom in the 9th, that was right in his wheelhouse.
Yeah.
On an average, Aaron Judge hits that right out of the ballpark because that was tailor-made for him. It was right in his wheelhouse. It was a great pitch to hit. And he popped it up with a lazy fly. I mean, that's a timing issue for me. As I say, a normal Aaron Judge, an average Aaron Judge, even if he's not absolutely crushing it, hits that out of the ballpark, which says to me it's a timing issue and he's just not totally there yet. Now, it sucks as a fan because you want him to hit that out of the ballpark. Could you imagine? The Bronx would have exploded. It absolutely exploded, but I don't think it's a big deal. I'm not reading too much into it, and we'll take it from there. Now, he did leave a small village on the base pass. I mean, I have to be critical. Like he did. He screwed up the previous at-bat when we needed a rally, and he screwed up the bottom of the 9th with an absolute easy pitch to hit for a guy of Aaron Judge's quality. It was an absolute routine pitch to hit out of the ballpark. So you have to call him out for it, but at the end of the day, it's a slump, not a big deal. And by the end of the year, he's going to hit 45. No problem, because that's who Aaron Judge is. He's going to have a hot streak, and we're going to completely forget about that at bat. We're going to completely forget about this game against the Marlins, and we'll be talking about Aaron Judge's hot streak, and it's going to come. Will probably come when the weather's better. Probably by May, he'll probably start crushing it and be the same old Aaron. I'm not overly worried at all.
Well, I think there are two factors that were brought up in the chat. One was from Joan. He's still, he's probably at the tail end of what his spring training would be. because he did not have a full spring training. So he's still working on, like you said, the timing. I don't think it's his power. I don't think he's, he got old fast. I like don't come with that narrative because that's bullshit. And the other one was from Mr. Barros. And good morning to you, Mr. Barros. He's also, he's always batted second. Batting third, it could be kind of throwing him off a little bit, but he has every reason to believe that is only, so
I don't think it's anything to do with where he's batting. It's just purely that he's working himself back to being 100% in terms of timing and being ready for the season, because he missed a good portion of spring. That's it. I don't think it's much deeper than that. I just hope that he's 100% healthy. As long as he's 100% healthy, he will hit 45 home runs. No doubt he'll hit 45, 50 home runs. Question is, what will his batting average be? That's not the question for me. As long as his OPS is over 900, 850, 900, Aaron Judge is going to be Aaron Judge. The batting average isn't the be-all and end-all anymore, not in the modern game.
Yeah,
as much as
unfortunately,
an old-school fan like myself loves batting average, but it's not the principal thing anymore. If he's getting over 100 RBIs and he's batting and he's got over 40 home runs or even 35 home runs, and his OPS is 900, and he's on base more than around about 40% of the time, then he's having a great year. That's what matters.
Yeah. I want to bring up this comment here from Acevedo. What's going? Good morning to you, Acevedo. Sean Browning, what's going on? I see you sneaking in there. Yankees are a super analytics team, and Soto's best numbers come batting third, but we place him second. Same for Judge in second. The issue, and you're probably right, but these were the roles that the players asked to take. And if Judge wasn't slumping, I mean, the runs that this team could put up, it's just, it hasn't affected Soto, but Soto, to the point that, we made, Soto had a full spring training, Judge did not. So the timing is usually the last thing to come for a player in the spring. So who knows? Maybe now that he's, we're 2 weeks in, it starts to click. Because it's not like he's flailing at the plate. Like, he's not going to the plate desperate for a hit. He's still taking a very patient approach. He's not giving away the at bat. It's just not coming to fruition for him yet. This is Aaron Judge. This is not Nick Johnson. He's going to figure it out. This is not Josh Donaldson. Judge is going to figure it out. So I don't want to just come here and be like, oh my God, Judge is broken. What are we going to do? No, am I worried about Judge? No. Am I concerned? Am I paying attention? Yes. I think that's where I am right now.
I think, you could be critical. You could critique his series. I mean, the first and the last game of the series, he was poor. You can call that out. He's not immune from that, and he'd probably say so himself. So he's not immune from criticism. So I could criticize the fact that he didn't come through. The middle game of the series, he was fine. He got on base a ton of times with the walks, and you can't ask much more than that. He took his walks, but I felt that he messed up a lot of opportunities when we really needed him in the final game of the series. And you really want to be sweeping that Marlins team. You probably shouldn't have lost that game in a home game against such a struggling team that they don't really have much of a middle relief. They should have gone into that middle relief quicker, and they should have done a better job. So I can critique that. I can definitely critique that. I'd like to critique their umpire as well. That umpire in the third game, he was as bad, if not worse, than Angel Hernandez. So I can critique that as well, because he took a lot of bats out of the Yankees' hands in that third game of the series. I can definitely critique that, and that includes Aaron Judge. But as I say, Judge got a pitch in his wheelhouse. 9 times out of 10, he hits a home run. Unfortunately, this occasion, he popped out with a lazy fly. Disappointing. It happens. And he'll hit a. I'm sure he'll hit a grand slam the next time.
Yep. With the comments, there's one year Spencer just sent me, and shout out to Spencer. Thanks for hanging out with us the other day. We had we were so happy to see you on screen with us. But he's also saying, let's keep in mind the slump has been facilitated by some questionable calls by the home plate umpire.
See, great minds think alike, eh?
Yep. So no, and look, the umpires do not help. The umpires, and we said this the other day, and it's not just the Yankees or the Yankee games, because you can see it all through sports. The umpires this year are so freaking lazy. Like they're not. It's almost like they're not even trying to get it right anymore. Yeah, it's just these umpires drive you nuts. They really do.
I have a feeling whether this has been mandated around the umpiring crew around baseball, whether like the Yankees are extra critical about balls and strikes. So I wonder if it's just kind of like a. I'm not saying cheat. Of course, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying. I think that they're extra tight with the strike zones with the Yankees because they know the Yankees like to call. They like to control the strike zone and they like to dictate the strike zone. And they know that there's a lot of chirping from the Yankee dugout if they don't get the zone that the Yankees feel they deserve. I think there's that because they are very, very, very tough with the Yankees, more tough than any other team in the league. It's crazy. I mean, look at the amount of times that Aaron Boone got thrown out last year, and a lot of the time I didn't blame him because we were getting hosed in a lot of times. I'm not saying that they're doing anything deliberately because it's the Yankees. What I'm saying is I think it's because they know that the Yankees have such great hitters. They know the strike zone, and you got Aaron Boone, who doesn't take any shit, and Aaron Boone knows what a ball and strike is. He's very critical of the umpires, and I think the umpires have come together and said, basically, let's just show them who's boss, essentially, because that's what's happening. It's like that last game was a joke. I mean, it could have gotten thrown out about 4 or 5 occasions, even before he did. In that one game, because it was crazy pitches that were way out of the zone that were being called strikes. And it was the same with Angel Hernandez. He should have gone thrown out in the Angel Hernandez game. So I can name, and then there was a game in the Diamondback series. I can name already 4 or 5 games already that the Yankees have gone completely hosed by the umpires. Completely hosed with an unfair strike zone. And it's a total disgrace. I think it's worse. It's all for all teams. I don't know, man, but I can guarantee you the Yankees get it really, really bad because it just seems to be a constant thing. It's unbelievable.
There was another comment that was brought up in the chat by Acevedo here, and it's a great comment because the umpires this season are really bad old teams. They don't care because the league doesn't want to give them a raise. Now, I haven't taken a deep dive into this because I've heard a couple of different other channels talk about it. From what I do understand is the umpires were denied a raise because MLB said, well, right now you have the way that you are set up, your job is for life. Until you decide to step away as a major league manager, it's you. If you want more money, we want more power to control you. We want to get some of the control back. So the umpires kind of backed off of their raise because they want that lifetime gig. So they don't want to have a situation where the league can fire a player, on their performance. Right now, the only thing they can do is deny them. They put the rating system in because they can't be fired. But the ratings determine, unless you're Angel Hernandez and sue everybody, if you're able to call games in the postseason of the World Series. So that was that give and take that was between the two of them. Yeah, but Nick, it's not just a few calls.
Thank you.
And yet, believe me, and we've said that. Look, the ump's a human. Shit's gonna, mistakes
Yeah.
are made. But this
2
is
or
getting,
3, I don't
look,
care.
it's getting
Quarter was
crazy.
called. I don't care. No pitches on the other batter's box, for
Yeah.
Christ's sake.
And also, real quick, right? Because before it gets hostile, let's just respect everybody's opinions. Let's not attack anybody, and just keep it peaceful. Keep it a little on the family friendly side. And so I'll leave that at that. But look, yeah, umpires are going to make mistakes. It's going to happen. It just sucks that it happens more to Judge than any other freaking player. They put the numbers out. He's had over 300 strikeouts on calls low in the zone. That would not have been a strike for other people. A strike for other players. He's got the second place player beat by over 160 at bats. So yeah, maybe it's not. Look, sometimes Judge could be, a player could be their own enemy. They're going to call it, at least try to fight it off.
He's probably 6'7". Give me a break.
But like Susan Woman says, it's not like he's going to shrink.
Yeah. Complaining we will have robots. I want robots.
If they use the system that they did that I learned about for the spring training game with all the
Exactly.
prospects,
It's not going to be a robot going strike one, ball one.
Yeah, they're going to have a computerized zone, but it's still, the umpires are still going to be calling the game.
Exactly. There'll be a challenge system. I think it's like one challenge for the catcher, one challenge for the batter, or from the dugout, or something like that.
Yeah, and I don't know if Nick knows this or anybody else in the chat, but there'll be 3. You're going to be able to challenge 3 strike and ball calls a game. 1 for the pitcher, 1 for the batter, 1 for the catcher.
There you go.
So if they implement that, I'm all for it, because I do want to keep that human element. But it's almost, it's at least that's a step in the direction to kind of self-correct some of the egregious calls, because you only have one, so you better be really careful when you use it. And so I think that's a great. I think it's a great plan.
I think it's a no-brainer, man. It's a
no-brainer. Oh, absolutely.
Because the thing is, it's not just one pitch. Like, as Paul O'Neill pointed out during this game, because this game was egregious, right? It was egregious. It was all game long. It was the most awful umpiring, and that's why Boone got thrown out. And Boone has deliberately tried to stay calm, and he's not talked to the umpire at all to this point. But it was so bad he had to say something. At one point, Paul O'Neill says, some umpires say to me, "Oh, come on, it's just one pitch." It's not, because it changes an entire at bat. If a 1-1 count, and then a pitch that is clearly in the ground is called a strike, and it's now 1-2 instead of 2-1, the whole fundamentals of that at bat changes. Everything changes in that bat, and your chances of success in a 1-2 count as opposed to a 2-1 count completely decreases as a batter. That's why it's fundamental that these things are fixed, because everything changes in an at bat. If you're 1-2, now the pitcher has complete control of that at bat. 2-1, the batter has a bit more control of that at bat. So it's everything. It matters. It absolutely matters.
Yeah, and look, it really comes down to it's also
careers are dictated by these calls.
Yeah, no, and believe me, if it's happening to, it's not just our team; it's happening to. But let's also, how about these umpires do their job with a little bit of pride?
Yep.
Because like NFE said, you never saw it this outrageous before with all these calls. And just everything, it's like they're freaking lazy. Stop being lazy. Focus on your job.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't like the fact that you can't get a raise because of what your union agreed to, then change your union the next time that you can and make those changes. But until then, you got to do the job you're responsible for. And
Fact.
so Neil, you if you were listening, the umpires cannot be fired. The only way that they can be released from their job is there has to be an agreement between the union and the baseball association and Major League Baseball. But they do not get fired; they get sent down to the minor leagues.
I'm just asking for accountability across the board.
Exactly.
You
Just
know,
like we're holding Judge accountable. We hold everybody accountable.
There's accountability where the league demands that players don't criticize balls and strikes. You're not allowed to criticize balls and strikes. But how about the umpire actually calls it fairly and actually does a good job? How about that? Why is it that umpires aren't held to the same account that the players have to adjust to the umpire's strike zone, even if it's wild and makes no sense? Why can't the umpire have a better strike zone? Why is there not accountability across the league? At the end of the day, if an umpire is deliberately screwing up a game, like he did the game 3 against the Marlins, where it's egregious, basically every single inning the Yankees are taking part in, why isn't that umpire held accountable? Why is it the players that always have to get criticized for reacting to it? I just think that's wrong. Accountability across the board. That's all I'm asking.
Yep. And so, Neil, look, I don't want to spend this whole show having to stop to keep defending my cousin, but I'm going to say this one more time. All right, Nick and Donald agree to it. Nick's been a guest host with us. He's probably the most objectionable fan. He doesn't care what uniform you're wearing, as long as you're playing the game right. And I can guarantee you, if this was Alonso, he'd be going even crazier than we are. So he's not trying to be hypocritical about anything. So Nick pays close to attention to every. If this was Bobby Witt Jr., he'd be saying, it doesn't matter who it is. He calls it like he sees it. So just stop. Right. He was brought up with in the comments with the pitching. I don't know. I got you, but to tie in with the umpires, right? With Heels outing, we talked about it a little bit the other day, right? I mean that's one of those. It could go either way. Like, did Heel kind of show up a little bit, maybe? But he's a rookie. He's just getting back. He's hyped up. He's been pitching really freaking good. But the other pitcher that really pitched well this series was Rodon. I think he had a great outing. What'd you think of Rodon's performance?
He was great, but what about Nestor Cortez? He cruised through.
Oh my God, Nestor too. Yeah.
We should, we don't want to belabor too many points. We should probably, because if we want to talk about some of the other massive issues, let's maybe get through the player awards.
All right. Player award time.
Player award time. So let's get the old notebook out. So let's start with the MVP. Now I know that Rob's MVP was Juan Soto. So I will get Rob's point down there. Soto. And Tats, who was your MVP?
Ooh. The MVP, I think, to me is a little tricky.
Great idea. We'll talk off air. We'll come up with something. We should have like
great
segment. For this segment, we need to make it up.
All right, I'm gonna work on something this weekend, and Donald and I will put something together. We'll get Rob involved. We'll come up with something really fun for everybody.
It's a great idea. Great idea.
The MVP. I gotta go with Soto. He's still hot. It's that at bat to get the winning run to the plate and about in that loss. I just Soto's just been so impressive. I got to give it to him again.
I agree. It's going to be Soto across the board. Sean has Stanton. I actually think that's a great point too. And if he has Stanton, so the fans, who of the fans got his MVP? So we've got 2 for Stanton, we've got 1 for Soto, we got 1 for Volpe. So 2-1-1. Frederick got Soto, so it's now 2-2-1. Sunil's gone Volpe. It's 2-2-2, baby. Who's gonna win? This is actually a hot one.
All right. Well, we're waiting for the other one in case this is your first time watching the awards. We'll go through how we do this. All right. We have 5 different awards we hand out, and anything goes. If you want to give an MVP award to the beer concession guy, it's you throw it out there. So it's not just the players. It's not just the Yankee players. Even I think a couple of the opposing players have gotten an award here or there. So it's this gets to be a lot of fun, and all you guys are always the tiebreaker, especially today. There's only
the fans have get to have a vote too, and it's a democracy. So the most
Yep.
of most votes win. At the moment, it looks like Stevie B is giving Stanton the W for MVP.
And we've got one for the ground screw. All right.
Going twice. Going 3 times, sold to Big G. The fans have got Big G the vote for MVP. And I think that's a good one. I like that one. Okay, low key MVP. This is where you can get the runner-up MVP, or you want to get another player who deserves a mention. And for me, that low key MVP is Big G. Big G was wonderful this series. Strike Zone has Slim G. I like that one. I like that one.
No, Stanton. I don't even think with the way that those two played this series, and as long as those two are either MVP or the low key, then it's a win. And then it was done right. Good morning, Will Star. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Will Star. Rob has Volpe.
Okay,
so
come up.
That's a good one. Volpe deserves it too. He was wonderful. So Rob's got Volpe. Tats, myself as Big G. Now it's down to the fans. So if the fans have got Big G for MVP, who have you got as low-key MVP? Fans, let's see. Who have we got? Who have we got here? Low-key MVP, Aaron Boone for not taking crap from the umpire. Good point, Neil. NFE has Cortez. Who else? Will Starr has Volpe. Anthony Garcia has Volpe. Sean has Volpe. And the winner is Volpe. So Volpe gets the low-key MVP from the fans. I think that's a very, very good shout. Good job. Okay.
Real quick, I don't know if you did you see this one real quick? Stanton is now homered against every team in the league officially. I actually thought it
G-Force.
Yep.
G-Spot.
Yep.
Pitcher. The pitcher award. Rob, I know, has went with Cortez. Spoiler alert, I've gone with Cortez. And Tats, who's your pitcher award going to?
Oh, it's Cortez.
Well, you wanted Rodon, no?
No. I was talking about with because Rodon also had a great game.
Yeah.
But no, Cortez, because the one thing that he adjusted was that first inning.
Yeah, he did. He fixed that.
So he got that put him over the edge.
I think that what wins it for him is the fact that he gave us length and he basically gave us a day off. That was huge.
I was hoping he was going to go out for the night.
Me too. It was amazing because that was vintage Nestor Cortez. Like he just cruised. Like there was no issue. He just cruised. And I've been extremely critical of Nestor Cortez. He struggled all last year. He struggled all through spring, and for me, he struggled to start the year. But he was great in that last start. Like he just cruised, and he also mixed in a couple of his favorite windups. some of the herky-jerky motions he mixed in there. That was the old Cortez. And, I mean, it's a very, very weak lineup. So we have to bear that in mind. But, hey, you can only beat what's in front of you, and that's what he did. So I thought that was a great outing from Nestor Cortez, and he gave our bullpen, which was absolutely out on its feet, a day off. And we can't thank him enough for that. And to be honest, had Rizzo not screwed up Rodon's outing, then Rodon might have given us similar length. We will need to talk about Rizzo soon because I thought he was really poor. Anyway, so that's been now take the L award.
Let's do that one. Let's do that one last.
All right.
That's gonna tail into something.
All right. Well, in that case, we will go with the Clutch Award. Who was clutch? Who came up clutch?
Stanton.
I agree. I'm going to give...
In this series, Stanton was the at-bat you were waiting on.
Yeah, I know, but the thing was Soto came up clutch too.
Yeah, I know. I'm telling you, those two drove me crazy this series. They were making... They're starting to... See, this is actually what I like about this. Because now, even though we're watching, intently, now we're like even emphasizing the intent, the intensity of watch, because you're starting to see that more players are getting into the mix. A couple of weeks ago, I think the first or second time we were doing these awards, it was G that was getting the L.
Yeah, now he's MVPs.
He's dominating.
That's what's great about this. Like anything could happen here. I was, I've been wanting to get Volpe involved, but for me, I think it's Stanton. I think Stanton was the one, but
yeah,
damn, Soto was so close. It's close, but he's got the MVP for me, so I'm giving Big G the Clutch Award. Rob, we need to get Rob's. Could you check that, Tats, in our in our discussion thing? We'll get what Rob said as the Clutch Award winner. Meanwhile, the fans, it looks like the fans are going Stanton. 1, 2, 3, 4 to 1 in terms of Stanton over Soto. So it looks like Big G has got the Clutch Award.
Yeah, he does not have the Clutch Award on there.
Oh, Rob gets the
why you're not seeing it.
Yeah, so we don't know what is a Clutch Award. We'll find out. We will find out off air. Okay, well, let's give Aaron Boone a rating out of 10. And I wrote Rob gave Boone 9 out of 10. So I think that's a pretty good rating.
Yeah, I'm with Rob. It would have been another 10 out of 10. But like I said in the beginning of the show, I really wanted them to find an at-bat or two for Cabrera.
So would you give it 9 out of 10 too?
9 out of 10. Because
That's
again,
fair.
he's making all the right moves. Yeah. So
The
we didn't
fans-
speak them all, and shit happens.
CVB and NFB have got 8 out of 10. Sneal has 9 out of 10. So yeah, so it looks like 8 out of 10 is probably going to win. Sean's got 9. Okay. You know what? I will give. You know what? I can't really criticize anything that Boone did. I think Boone did everything right. He stood up for his players. I agreed with his move. The only thing that I would criticize is not pinch hitting Trevino. That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're still sticking with Trevino going into the 9th innings or 8th innings of important at bats when you're losing and you know that he can't hit shit. So, Rob has Stanton.
Yes, we receive. Thanks, Rob.
Thank you, Robinho, the Rob Dog. Okay, that's fine. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, but it's still a very, very good rating.
Yeah.
The fans, I think the 8 wins for the fans. So Boone had a great weekend. I don't blame him for the loss. There was a ton of varying factors for that loss. and none of it included Boone. But they need to be hotter with their trigger finger with Trevino, because this guy is an automatic out right now. Like one hit this year, one hit. He is atrocious. I think next week we should look at his numbers deep dive, because his numbers are horrific and his catching numbers are worse. His catching numbers are terrible. His catching numbers used to be in the 100th percentile. Now it's in the 50th percentile. So he's coming up as average. His catching right now is coming up as average. His arm is so bad it takes 3.5 weeks in order for it to reach second base. Like he's his throws to second base takes 3 weeks. You can get a boat from Belfast to New York in that time. It takes so long. Like his arm is so weak to second. So like I'm very concerned about Trevino. I don't know how long you can put up with him, that catcher.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get to the one that's going to have us going into overtime this morning. Let's go into the Take the L award.
The Take the L award. Well, I can tell you that the Take the L awards, Rob has Take the L. Sal Licata takes the L award for Rob. And we will find out why in a minute. Tats, who takes the L for you?
This should be a clean sweep. It's Licata. You guy's a clown.
Well, the fans, who have you guys got? Is the L. Stevie Beals, Angel Hernandez. Sean Browning has Angel Hernandez, the umpires. So okay, we will go with the umpires.
Fredericks got DR. I'm assuming that's Trevino.
Yeah, that's a good one. There's actually quite a lot of L's, right? For me, Rizzo deserves consideration, but he still bat 300 for the series. He got some hits, but his defense was horrendous, and he came up small in big moments. Will stars Trevino. I agree. I think Trevino's terrible. Looks like the umpires are still winning at the moment with the fan award, but you can make that argument. You can make the argument of Torres, who's 0 for 12. He was completely useless. For me, to take the L award has to be Aaron Judge. I'm giving the L to Aaron Judge because I'm sorry, man. He left a small village on the base paths in Game 3. Now I'm a big Judge guy. I've got his bobblehead behind me. It's not easy. I love Aaron Judge, but I have to be fair. If you're gonna be critical of who cost us the series, I'm sorry, it was Aaron Judge. The previous at bat before he failed with the bases loaded, he struck out when he cost us a rally, and then the final at bat, he got a pitch right in his wheelhouse that should have been tattooed, and he came up small. And so that moment where the whole stadium is ready to go insane, Soto draws a big walk. It was all set up for him. He got a pitch to hit. He got a great pitch to hit, and he hit a lazy fly. I'm sorry, you take the L for that, man. You take the L. So Aaron Judge, for me, takes the L. But and this is a good segue. For the second straight week, the Prick Award goes to Sal Licata, because you are the king of the pricks, Sal Licata. You are a complete prick. You get the Prick Award, and I'm not taking any debate as to who's a prick, because he is a prick. Uncle Tats, let's talk about Sal Licata. Embarrassing. Give me your thoughts, because I have a lot to say.
What is to say about Sal Licata? One, we got douche, clown, wannabe, embarrassment, loudmouth. Insert all of it all. But just because you scream it loud doesn't mean it's true. Right? Just scream all you want. And I also want to give credit to freaking Tierney that I was actually pushing back on him. that, calling it, saying, "Are you out of your mind?" And they actually went through bad pitch by pitch, saying that, look, this, would you have swung here? Would you have swung here? Like, and Sal's going, yeah, but a walk is not as good as a hit. In that situation, right, you have Aaron Judge behind you. Why? One, he's not looking for the walk. He's not scared to swing the bat. This is his approach. This is why he's as good as he is. This is why Soto is Juan fucking Soto. Because he doesn't force the at bat. He takes the pitches that he's given. He swings at the pitches that he feels he can make contact with. If he gets the walk, he gets the walk. That's it. He's got one of the best approaches to the plate I've ever seen. So how can you criticize somebody that has a long at bat like that? A pitcher on the ropes, gives up, walks Volpe, long at bat, to walk Soto with Aaron Judge behind you. It doesn't. How much? It just doesn't. It doesn't make sense. Why would you want him swinging the bat at pitches that he can't make contact with? Well, all he's going to do is induce a ground ball, game over, and then we're going, you had Judge behind you, as cold as he is. He's Aaron Judge. Why are you flailing at the plate? Why are you expanding the zone? That would be the argument today if he would have, just done what, just went after the hit. It just doesn't make it. Sometimes I hear some of these opinions, and the first thing that goes through my mind is, have they ever watched baseball? Did they ever play baseball? Even in Little League, you learn this shit. What is the one thing that we've been praising for this team on this channel? They're going Little League style. They're waiting for their pitch. And when they get their pitch, they're doing damage, Sal. They are doing damage. They're 10-3. Come on. Stop complaining just to complain to get clicks on your radio show.
There we go. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. And so Joan is actually technically right here. He's an idiot, but people are talking about him, so he's happy. Yeah. And that is what the crux of the matter is. And that's why I'm upset. Because this is why people are turning to podcasts now. This is why people are listening into podcasts, because the radio game is being dictated by bosses who are in your ear saying, say something inflammatory to get clicks. And that's why people are turning to podcasts, because podcasts, we try and give you something that doesn't require clicks. We're trying to give you the best knowledge we possibly can, the best content we possibly can. We try and be fair. We try and talk Yankees as fair as we possibly can. That's what it comes down to. That's why people are turning to content creators, because at the moment, the radio game is being dictated by what inflammatory nonsense can you scream in order to get clicks. And that's what I have a problem with. You should never, ever use your platform to get clicks, because that is what's wrong. If you're a sports fan, if you take your sports fandom seriously, if you take your position as someone who knows the game, as knows sports, which I take very seriously, I take that very seriously. You should have the respect of the people that are listening to you to try and give the best nuanced takes you possibly can. That is important to me. So when I listen to these people, Sal Licata, who screams, he's screaming down the airwaves at you. He's screaming. And after it's finished, I'm not entirely sure what he's screaming about. Right? Because what is he screaming at? That his point is ridiculous. You look at that point. Juan Soto needs to force something. Why? You've got the all-time home run leader behind you, waiting in the batter's box. Why would you force that at bat? That's the stupidest take. And most of those pitches in the zone were unhittable. They were in the other batter's box. Some were in the ground. What is he expected to do? Is he supposed to be golfing and golf a pitch out of the zone, out of the stratosphere? That makes no sense. You've got Aaron Judge waiting for you. I don't care if he's hot or cold or what. It's still Aaron Judge. And you win championships by passing the baton. That's how the Yankees in the 90s and the 2000s won all those games, because they trusted their teammates. They passed the baton to their teammates. They trusted their teammates, because at the end of the day, that means something. That means that you trust your teammate, and Aaron Judge will come through more times than he won't. So it's such a stupid take, and it's an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment. It's offensive as a fan to listen to that take, because it's stupid, for one. It's just purely to get clicks, two. And also, what is he screaming at? It's so stupid. He went on TV with that thing. He went on SNY, and he got shut down because it's so stupid. But guess what? Spike, the boss of WFAN, has come in.
No, Spike's out.
Well, I know, but he came in and he turned WFAN into this.
Oh, I got you.
Into this joke where it's all about hot takes. It's not about talking sports. I grew up listening to Mike and the Mad Dog, who took their position, took their jobs very seriously, and they were the best in the business. You know, you had Joe Benengo. I didn't like any of the teams that he rooted for. I don't care for the Mets. I certainly don't care for the Jets. But guess what? He was a nuanced, knowledgeable, passionate fan. I love to listen to him. He knew his stuff. Evan, he roots for the three most irrelevant teams in the state. But guess what? Prior to Spike getting in his ear, he was a nuanced fan. Now he's saying moronic takes just like Salicata. But the problem is, you get Salicata in an important position, and he just screaming nonsense for the sake of nonsense. It's really, really, really embarrassing. And that is why people are turning to podcasts. And that's why it's really important to call this stuff out. I know that he's happy right now. He's delighted. He's like, look at all these people talking about me. Not for the right reasons, my guy.
No.
You are a moron. You are a moron. You're an embarrassment. You're an embarrassment to the radio game. You're an embarrassment for any fan. You're an embarrassment for any fan who takes their job seriously in the airwaves. You're an embarrassment. And I would never, ever, ever want to be in that position. If I was in that position and I'm just saying hot takes just for the sake of it, I would be embarrassed. You should be taking your job seriously, and you should be analyzing the game, and you should have better nuanced takes than that, because that's just inflammatory, moronic shit. You are a prick. Shut the fuck up, you moron.
Yep. No, and even if Soto does do damage and he hits a home run, would that have won the game? No.
Exactly.
It would have only tied the game. He did his job. He had an approach at the plate that caused the winning run to get through the plate, to avoid extra innings, if it got to that. So if Judge would have, and like we said earlier, that was the pitch that could have really broken Judge out of the slump. And he just got under it. So it's not like Judge went and just struck out on 3 pitches. So that game was almost won according to plan. It's just, we talked about Judge's timing. Then we would have been we would have been on here, and Soto would have had a clean sweep of all the awards because of that at bat to get the pass the baton to Judge. It would have been completely to plan. But no, it did not work. It sucks. We won the series. We move on.
Yeah, we won the series. That's
all it's about. You're not going to win every game.
No.
But these games in April are as important as the games in September. We're not seeing, and you know what? Let's also say before we have to start getting out of here, thank you, Bone, for no punt lineups this year.
It's been
Thank
great.
you. Yeah. We would have been screaming about the lineup about 15 times.
There's a lot of talk here from Donnie about
about
the Ohtani stuff. I mean, I think this would be fun to have Rob's take on all this. So we should maybe talk more in depth on it Monday, because this is not going away. The only thing I will say before we talk about something else before Monday, because we'll break this down on Monday, because I feel pretty passionately about this too. I'm pretty pissed off about this. The idea that I'm supposed to believe that Ipe placed 19,000 bets, and I repeat that, 19,000 bets, and Ohtani apparently had no idea about it. With his bank account.
There's no fucking way. There's no way.
With his bank account. Now, in the modern world, every single dollar that leaves your account is accounted for. Right? Now, I just booked my flight to New York, and you get a text. You get a text message saying, "Did you make this purchase?" Right? Yes or no, right? There's things in place to protect you.
Yep.
Right? Every dollar is accounted for. And I'm supposed to believe that $16 million left in his account. He has no freaking idea. And it's not just $16 million. There was like $149 million worth of bets that were placed. 19,000 and he has no idea? I'm supposed to believe that? Pull the other one, because I ain't buying it. This is just the case that the golden boy is involved in this, and they don't want the golden boy touched. So he's the fall guy. Now, do I think that Ohtani was placing these bets? I'm starting to think no. Right? But he was clearly involved. There's no way that he has no idea, because that is stupid. Either Ipe is the dumbest criminal in the world. He's the dumbest criminal since the Pink Panther, right? He's either the dumbest criminal since the Pink fucking Panther, and Ohtani is the biggest moron to ever walk the earth, that has $140 million flood out of your bank account and you have no idea about it. You're not making that much money for you to not care about $140 million. So either that, or there's a little bit more to the story, which it clearly is.
Oh, this is gonna. We said this a couple weeks ago.
We will break that in. We'll break that down on Monday. Yeah. Thanks, Dev. Honestly, it's just a joke. It's a total joke, but we'll break that down on Monday, because I'd love to hear Rob's take on this.
Yeah, but before we, and we're gonna.
Sorry, I ain't buying it.
Before we sign off, I want to highlight one more comment. Right. This is, this is why Soto is so great. He didn't strike out with the winning run on deck. Thank you. Thank you. Because that comment right there says he just wanted to complain because if it was his team, he'd have a different angle. He wouldn't be going off on a tangent. I don't know. You know what? I think he would complain anyway. But it didn't matter what happened. But on that note, I want to thank everybody that spent their morning with us. We greatly appreciate it. We hope everybody does have a fantastic weekend, whatever your plans are. So just remember to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, share this out with your friends, your family, the stranger around the corner. This has been a great week for us on the Chronicles. We've enjoyed every moment with you. And Donald, we will be back on Monday.
Have a wonderful, safe weekend, guys. Thanks so much for all the support. You guys have hung with us. For those that hung with us for the duration of the Parkinson's show that we did for over 12 hours, I should say, Uncle Tats and Lynn, for the majority of it. You guys did unbelievable, because you stayed with them and you put a lot of your time and money to a really good cause. So we really appreciate it. And then you guys were there for us on Monday and then Wednesday and now today. You don't know how much it means to us. It means that you guys Love
Actually,
I love to listen to three old dudes ranting on about the Yankees, and it means the world to us. So have a wonderful weekend, guys, and I can't wait to talk to you guys soon.
Yep. So, and on that note, we pinch your pride and play hard.